Hi, my name is Kylan, and I'm a programmer from Encinitas, California. In March of 2020, I decided to plan an 18-month trip around the world and capitalize on my ability to work remotely. With my sights set on Peru as my first destination, I was optimistic that my ability to go with the flow would help me avoid countries experiencing issues with coronavirus. I said goodbye to my friends and family and took the train up to LAX, where I departed for my first destination, Lima. The airports were desolate, and they felt very different as the airport staff in Lima tested us for coronavirus upon arrival. Nevertheless, after being cleared, I headed to my Airbnb in lovely Miraflores to catch a good night's rest. My journey had begun. The next morning, I woke to the terrible news that the Peruvian government was enforcing a strict lockdown, and that all residents in the entire country would be quarantined inside their place of residence, with only trips to the grocery store and the hospital allowed as exceptions. In my optimism, I had ignored the warnings and underestimated the virus. Nevertheless, I kept my hopes up that the situation would improve. I had intended to do a bunch of surfing in Peru and still had a couple of months left of warm ocean water. Plus, the initial lockdown was only declared to be 2 weeks, which isn't that long. So I busied myself with coding projects, watching TV shows, and practicing flying my first drone, a Mavic Mini. And I needed that practice. 2 weeks went by and I started to feel lonely, so I switched to a hostel. Another 2 weeks went by and the situation was worsening. By the 6-week mark, I decided to order a DSLR camera to fill my time by learning a new skill. Check, testing. After 8 weeks though, and the situation still worsening with no end in sight, and the beginning of winter in the southern hemisphere, I decided to throw in the towel and return to San Diego. With my spirits damaged, I went on a couple of small trips to Yosemite and northern Arizona to counter all the time I spent in front of a computer. These small road trips were fun, but I'd always wanted to do a very long road trip. With my 1993 Volvo station wagon being the lone hurdle holding me back, it was time for a new car. I'd always loved the look of Mazdas, and in July, after making sure I could fit laying down in the back, I pulled the trigger and bought a new Mazda CX-9. To make room in the back, I measured the area and had some foam cut out to level what would be my sleeping quarters. My new car was ready for business. I had overcome the last hurdle. I immediately started conjuring up a rough plan of where I wanted to visit. The summer heat in San Diego encouraged me to start off heading north, with my sights set on Northern California, Oregon, and Washington. My mom's yearly 2-week vacation in Tahoe in late July seemed like the perfect jumping off point. So I prepared my car to be my nightly bed, packed my stuff, including my computer equipment, and followed her to Tahoe. The lovely 2 weeks I spent in Tahoe reinforced my conviction that my plan was viable. I tested out my car and found I could get a full night of sleep quite comfortably, and found myself being very productive during the weekdays by using the local co-working space, Cowork Tahoe. The 2 weeks were full of fun, wakeboarding, hiking, relaxing on the Truckee River, and enjoying good food. The time flew by, and on August 7th I said goodbye to my mom and headed toward my first solo destination, Redding, California. Would I survive my first week? Would I be able to get my work done, or would my boss fire me for being unreliable? Would I get lost or suffer a car breakdown? Well, put on your mask and jump in, because we've got some driving to do and we're about to find out.